one-run game. Sonny Gray gets the ball in game 2. He is coming off the worst start of his career, but the Athletics ace knows it's early, and every start is a chance to turn it around. It's the A's and the Mariners, and it's coming up next. It is another cool night at the Coliseum as we get set for game 2 of this series. Good pitching matchup. Hisashi Iwakuma looking for his first win, and Sonny Gray, he wants to forget about his last start. So a couple of good right-handers tonight for game 2 of this 3-game series. You'll see it right here on CSN California. It's the Mariners and the Athletics. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's baseball. Along with my partner, Ray Fossey, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Sonny Gray will be looking for his 4th win of the year. He will also be looking for a bounce-back performance. Ray just wasn't himself on Wednesday in Detroit, and I'm sure he chalked it up, forgot about it, and going to move on tonight.
And he said, I'm at the Coliseum. It's a lot warmer here than it was in Detroit last week when he pitched. But surprisingly, just 2 innings for Sonny Gray in that start in Detroit, 65 pitches, and he basically said, I had nothing, but he has great numbers against the Seattle Mariners throughout his career. He's 4-1. That's going to help him as he pitches tonight. So you look at the extra day he's gotten, plus not throwing a lot of pitches, he should be okay to go deep in the ballgame.
Mariners playing good baseball. Pitching-wise, they have the 2nd best team ERA in the American League, and they're doing that with Iwakuma winless in 5 starts.
Hard to believe. You see the splitter. He's got an outstanding split-finger fastball. He would throw it especially with a couple of strikes. He's also sneaky with his fastball. Remember, he had a contract with the Dodgers. That did not work out, so he ends up back with the Mariners. They're very happy to have him. He has pitched well and just has not picked up a win, but he's got the sneaky fastball. But the split-finger fastball is the one pitch you really have to be concerned about.
So the A's will try to even up this series at a game apiece with the win tonight behind Sonny Gray. Stick around. We'll have lineups at first pitch from the Coliseum in just a little bit. It's the A's and the Mariners coming up on CSN California. Stick around.
California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the Baconlicious Sourdough Bacon Ranch Combo, only at Jack in the Box. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, Sonny Gray and the A's going with the Green Tops tonight and trying to get a victory and even up this series with the Mariners winning last night. Game time weather for tonight presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The boardwalk is open. Visit beachboardwalk.com for park hours. 62 degrees on a Tuesday night here at the Coliseum. And the Mariners playing good baseball, so Sonny Gray will try to cool off Seattle just a little bit. Lineup tonight for the Mariners. It starts with Nori Aoki. He had a good night last night. Seth Smith, Robinson Cano, Nelson Cruz. Cruz's numbers on the road this year. Then Lind, Seager, Marte, Clevenger will catch, and Leonis Martin is the center fielder.
Sonny Gray, as my partner said, would like to forget what happened on his last start. That would be at Comerica Park in Detroit, in which he did not go very deep at all. Just 65 pitches in 2 innings. Good numbers against the Mariners throughout his career. His record on this season 3-2 with a 381 earned run average. The 15 walks probably is the biggest thing. That's a lot of walks for Sonny Gray because maybe some of those curveballs the hitters aren't swinging at like they normally do.
Davis, Burns, and Reddick in the outfield for the A's. Coughlin back at third, Simeon at short, Lowry back at second, and Alonso at first. Fegley will catch. Stephen Vogt is going to DH tonight.
And as Stephen proudly said, we got catchers back-to-back in the lineup.
That's right.
One DHing and one catching. So they're happy. Sonny Gray with the hands up high with the stirrups of the stripes. So it's a good look tonight in the green.
First pitch of the ball game is a fastball just a touch low to Nori Aoki.
First pitch.
Mariners come in with a 14-11 record, and they have won 6 out of 8. So they're starting to feel pretty good about themselves, and they are 9-4 on the road compared to 5-7 at home. So Scott Servais in his first year as the manager, they're off to a good start.
A great road record, which is always impressive for a team. We saw what the A's in their road record to start the season, and they'll need to do it again starting Friday in Baltimore.
Aoki had a big night last night, a couple of hits and a walk. Kind of a pest. He's doing his thing from the leadoff spot. Dan Bellino will call balls and strikes. Adam Hamari at first, Kerwin Daly at second, Tony Randazzo at third. Daly is crew chief. So 2-2 to Nori Aoki, hitting .225 overall. Rolls it foul.
Well, unconventional stolen base with a left-handed hitter, but Aoki with Canada, the third baseman. Look where he's playing. It's kind of a moving target. Stephen Vogt was reluctant to throw, thought about holding the ball, and ended up throwing. And Mark Canha tried to backhand the ball, stepped all over. Aoki stepped on both hands, and Aoki able to score. It ended up being a 4-3 game.
Check swing, and now it's a full count. That was one of the biggest plays in the game.
That is not a swing, and that's been one of the problems, if there is a problem, that the hitter's not offering at a lot of the curveballs. Pitches are down low.
Inside, he walked in. So 16 walks now for Sonny Gray this year. That's a very high number in 28 1/3 innings.
Batting in the second position.
So averaging
right fielder.
4.7 walks per 9 innings this year, and you see how much higher that is than his first 3 years in the big leagues. He generally has pretty good control.
And the control is there, but also the swing and misses on pitches really out of the strike zone. But looked like Aoki took some pitches that normally you see guys swinging at to get the strikeouts.
Swing through there by Seth Smith. Smith at .292 with 4 home runs and 10 RBIs. He had a quiet night last night. He was 0 for 5 with a couple of strikeouts. And it's 0-2.
There's a good curveball, not one that was bouncing, but a good curve in the strike zone. Cessna taken all the way. 12-6 hammer right over the top, and Smitty not able to pull the trigger. Good strike from Sonny Gray.
Robinson Cano to follow. Grounded. Nice play. On to first, and that's a double play. So Chris Coghlan had a range far to his left.
A 5-6-3 double play, if you really want to think about it. And see where Simeon's playing up the middle, Coghlan in the shortstop. So Simeon was the one covering. Jed Lowry, the second baseman, normally is the one covering on a ball to left side. Instead it was Coghlan. And reminiscent last year, of course, the Kansas City Royals with Moustakas feeding it to Escobar, and we know what happened after that. But these guys had it planned perfectly. I got it, you take it, we'll get them out.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. So a double play. And now 2 outs for Robinson Cano.
Well, that time the shift worked for the A's, and not only did the shift work, but also the guys covering the bases at second base worked. They knew who was going to be doing it. Of course, with Lowry playing where he is right now in right field, any ball hit to the left side, it would have to be Simeon covering the bag.
You got to go through all that too, though, as infielders.
Exactly, and that's why Keith Lippman, director of player development, told me, he says they're starting with the minor leagues because more of it, not necessarily the hitters and how you're going to play them, it's what the infielders are going to do when you do shift guys.
2-0 now to Robinson Cano. Cano at 257 with 8 home runs and 24 runs batted in. So good start to the season. For the veteran second baseman, he had 3 hits last night. Scored a couple of runs, had a double. Tapped foul off of Cano's leg, it looked like.
So far, a couple of balls fouled. Seth Smith did one, and then Robinson Cano, but they've been fouled and kind of beaten in the ground. Kind of a lot of movement from the fastball, enough that they're not really making solid contact to even pull them foul.
Cano rolls at foul. Last night the Mariners scored 4 runs. They had 12 hits. Look back at that series in Seattle when the A's swept the Mariners. It was a 3-game series, and they scored a total of 4 runs in that 3 games. They had 3 doubles last night.
Kendall Graveman, a good outing. He just gave up the runs. There's the pitch.
And Cano swings and misses, side retired. So the leadoff walk, no damage done as the A's get a double play. Bottom of the first coming up. Billy Burns is going to lead off, and then Jed Lowry is going to play second, followed by Reddick, Davis, Vogt. Stephen Vogt with a 3-hit game last night. He's going to DH. Fegley will catch, and then Coughlin, Alonso, and Simeon round out the starting lineup.
Hisashi Iwakuma on the mound for the Mariners, making his 6th start, and surprisingly 0-3 in the 5 starts before tonight's game. And so good splitter. We showed in our open. He has that pitch, good fastball that still not really overpowering with the hitter, but the fact that he throws so many different pitches makes him effective. He's got the little hesitation, the windup, as most Japanese-born pitchers have.
First pitch drops in there for a strike to Billy Burns, hitting .253 with 3 RBIs. Burns has got 3 doubles and a couple of triples. He also has 7 stolen bases. He rolls this one right side. Off the mound is Iwakuma, and he flips to Lind, and they got him. So 1 out on a nice play by the pitcher Hisashi Iwakuma. Defensively, Aoki, Martin, and Smith in the outfield. Seager, Marte, Cano, and Lind on the infield. Clevenger, Steve Clevenger is your catcher tonight.
Now Billy Burns topping the ball towards first base and really running, but right there the fact that Iwakuma could go down and catch the ball. Surprisingly, he did not just go ahead to first base. It might have been easier that way instead of flipping it to Lind. And Lind was trying to avoid having Billy Burns coming in, catching the ball and getting out of the way. And not only Burns, but Iwakuma coming down the line as well.
So here's Lowry. A little bit outside to Jed Lowry, hitting at .308 with 13 RBIs.
Probably the shock for him last night was seeing all fastballs from Cishek in the 9th inning as a pinch hitter.
Yeah, you'd think he was going to see a slider somewhere, and he never really did. Good hit to end the game with a strikeout. Reddick to follow here in the bottom of the 1st. A's bring a 13-14 record into tonight's game. They have lost 7 out of their last 10.
And they know who they're facing tomorrow. King Felix Hernandez in the series finale. So a win tonight gives them a chance to win the series tomorrow. We'll get to the 500 mark on this homestand for sure, but they need to get 500 plus at home.
5-9 right now at home, 8-5 on the road. And a big road trip coming up. Iwakuma rocks and delivers the 3-1 pitch, and it's hit foul left side.
Iwakuma throws a 2- and 4-seam fastball, and then again does not top out any higher than 89-90 miles per hour, but he throws a cutter as he just did on the 3-1. And tries to finish hitters with a split finger fastball. See if he does it here or goes to some other pitch with a count 3-2.
Here is the payoff pitch, and again foul. This one right back to the screen.
And again, Iwakuma, fastball velocity 87 plus, 5th slowest in the majors. But we saw Doug Fister on Sunday. He didn't throw hard either.
No,
but
he was good.
He carved up the plate.
And that one's driven center. It's hit well. Martin hustling back, and Leonis Martin tracks it down. Martin is a very, very good outfielder, and he showed it there.
Now Lowry shaking his head, and
Right fielder.
Dave Martin can't go get him. Stayed up. If he pulls it, obviously it's extra bases, maybe even a home run. Hit it that far, and Martin, as we saw with the Rangers in the big ballpark in Arlington, he could track him down and had it all the way as he approached the warning track.
So 2 outs for Reddick. Reddick at .260 with 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. 1 for 4 last night with a run scored. Reddick has 25 hits on the year, 4 doubles to go along with the 4 home runs. .25 hits in 26 games.
Cannot look for too much with Iwakuma. It's not going to give you much to hit. This pitch is supposed to be outside. It ends up down and in. Maybe the splitter, but just not a very good pitch to hit.
He'll flip that splitter up there at any time.
Yes, he will. He just did it. I think he may be asking for it right here again. Yep.
And there it is. And it trickles away. Clevenger will grab it, and Reddick heads back to the dugout, so he is outside, retired. So 3 up, 3 down inning for Iwakuma. We're headed to the second. No score.
We have emphasized, we'll continue to emphasize the importance of Sonny Gray in tonight's game. And Sonny coming off the start against the Tigers, just 2 innings, so he's well rested. And for the A's, a win tonight, they have a chance to win the series. That's important since they lost the opener of the series last night. They know who they're facing tomorrow, so they need a win tonight to give them the opportunity to go against King Felix tomorrow afternoon, series finale, and win the series. But you have to win tonight to be able to try to get that series win. And the last thing, if the A's swept the Mariners up there, you don't want them to try to do the same here.
Not. And as John Lowenstein said, if you don't win tonight, it's going to be tough to win the series for the A's. Actually, he said, if you don't win the first game of that doubleheader, it's very difficult to sweep the doubleheader. Your old teammate,
great John Lowenstein. Oh, he was a beauty. The only guy who, with Frank Robinson as the player manager, was pinch hitting in the last inning, and Steiny was on third and tried to steal home, and he was out, and he looked up, and there's Frank Robinson, the manager, hitting, saying, how could you do that? Only John Lowenstein could do that.
I could picture Frank Robinson, especially when he was the manager of the Indians. Right. He was still pretty intense. Yeah. Looking at John Lowenstein and just shaking
his head. Exactly.
He was a good player, though, John Lowenstein.
Great. That's right. I feel for the Orioles for many years under Earl Weaver.
Maybe he's listening to our broadcast. Cruz fouls it.
Tolero just said, we see the guy that faked the injury. He actually had a collision or something on the wall, and they quiet took him off on the stretcher. And everybody's so quiet and so hopeful that everything is okay. And he got near the dugout, threw up both arms, said, I'm okay.
That was him.
He faked it all the way to the dugout. That's a beauty.
1-2 pitch.
That's it.
Sharp breaking ball, and Cruz chased it in the dirt.
That's the pitch. The kind of result you want. Of course, Fegley, it's important for him to block this pitch. But you have Cruz, the aggressive hitter, and swinging at the pitch out of the strike zone and going after the curveball. Cruz doesn't use a stride, and that's why, well, he does, but he closes up with the stride. And then swings at a curveball in the dirt. But Fegley has his work cut out for him, and he blocked that one perfectly.
So 1 out for Adam Lind. Lind hitting .229, homer, 4 RBIs. He had some good at bats last night. Hit some balls hard. He ended up with 1 hit. It was an RBI single. A very strong hitter. Adam Lind last year hit 20 home runs, knocked in 87 for the Brewers. You know, we don't want to continue talking about that last start by Sonny Gray in Detroit. So last comment, but hard to imagine. He threw 65 pitches in 2 innings.
Yeah, I just look at this is pitch number 23 with an out in the second. And I mean, when a pitcher says I'm lost, I have no idea where its ball is going, and tried to throw it down the middle, couldn't do it.
And most of those pitches came in the second inning.
Oh yeah, well, like 40 of them. Yeah, 25 in the first, 40 in the second.
There's your shift for Adam Lind.
Beat it last night going to left center.
Pops this one up. Coghlan gets back, turns around, and makes the catch. So 2 outs here in the second inning. Hey, the A's Insider Podcast is live on CSNCalifornia.com. Log on each week as our A's Insider Joe Stiglitz talks baseball with players, coaches, special guests, and more. The A's Insider Podcast with Joe Stiglitz. It's on CSNCalifornia.com, and it's also available on iTunes. All right. Guaranteed good time there.
Yeah.
First pitch to Seager. Roll foul. Seager at 167. 5 home runs, 14 RBIs. Of all the Mariners in the lineup tonight, the 2 guys that have seen Gray the most, Leonis Martinez faced him 30 times. Seager has faced him 25. Cano has faced him 21 now with his 1 at bat tonight. Seager is 6 for 25 with a home run.
Well, 2014, and Kyle Seager ended up signing a long-term contract that was here at the Coliseum, well above the out-of-town scoreboard into the seats. Sonny doesn't give up many home runs, but Seager, the lefty, he's going to play against lefties and righties.
1-2 pitch, bounced up the middle. Simeon's there, flips to first side, retired. So 3 up, 3 down inning for Sonny Gray. Bottom of the second coming up. It'll be Davis, Vogt, and Fegley. No score. No score, bottom of the second. Looking for a first hit in this game as Chris Davis leads it off. Davis in the cleanup spot, followed by Vogt and Phegley. Davis swings through a little cutter. Big night last night for Chris Davis, showing off his power.
He got a couple of curveballs inner half of the plate. Iwakuma's first one as Clevenger sets up outside again. Similar location.
That's a fair ball. Seager across the diamond. Davis is out. Ford right choice. Let's go back to last night and Chris Davis 2 home runs. They were both off Nate Carnes and there was nothing cheap about either. That one, all right, not bad, but this one is a whole different story. It went above our camera operators. His 4th and 5th home runs of the year for Chris Davis. So really struggled early. Be not surprised by that. Switching leagues, that whole deal. But we're seeing the power now. What we're also seeing is he was striking out quite a bit early, not nearly as much. I think he's a guy who he is going to strike out some, but where he really hits the ball hard when he makes contact.
Power hitters will typically strike out, and you take 30, 40 home runs with the strikeouts. There have been a lot of great hitters. I mean, going back to the great Mickey Mantle, Reggie Jackson come to mind. Those have struck out a lot. You take the home runs.
Stephen Vogt had 277 with 3 home runs. He's going to flare one to left for a base hit. He's going to reach for it. Found a hole, and that's the first hit of the ball game.
And that's exactly what happens to hitters when they fall behind in the count. Stephen Vogt just protected with a couple of strikes. As it turned out, the flare against and beat the shift with everybody to the right side. But 2-0-0-2. It's a huge difference in the approach of a hitter. Only one to the left side of the infield, and Seager had no chance with the ball going past him into the outfield. So Stephen Vogt will take it. A 2-strike chip shot to left field. That's why they shift him. 14 of his hits have gone to right field.
So Vogt aboard. Here's Phegley. So the 2 catchers, as Ray said, hitting back to back.
What is it we
That'll
figure?
make some people happy.
Oh yeah. What do we figure? They say 5 times the A's have taken the DH out of the game.
Yeah.
5 times is it now?
Slider down and away. 2-0 the count. Phegley at 360. He's got 9 home runs, or he's got 9 hits, excuse me, and 25 at bats. Couple of doubles. Spins in there, first strike from Iwakuma. Interesting off-season for Hisashi Iwakuma. He was a free agent, and he had a 3-year contract in hand, and sure sounded like a done deal from the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yep.
And then that deal fell through for whatever reasons.
Well, they did their due diligence with the physical and found out he was not healthy. And one of the things that happened with the Dodgers, they guaranteed him a third year, which at his age he was hopeful for 3 years. But then they found out physical. Of course, he had finger issues a couple of years ago, the lat muscle injury last year. But the Mariners were happy to get him back. Took less of a guaranteed, but he has a chance to make more if he could stay healthy.
Phegley rolls it foul. So his contract with the Mariners is a 1-year deal for $11 million. But there's vesting options for 2017 and 2018. So if he's healthy, gets to certain numbers as far as innings pitched and starts, that type of thing, well, then the option vests. So it could still be a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
And you got the feeling that he was happy to go back to Seattle.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Shallow center. Leonys Martin comes in. Iwakuma last year dealt with injuries, as Ray said, but he did have a couple shining moments, including a no-hitter. It was on August 12th against the Baltimore Orioles. Hisashi Iwakuma. There it is. So a night that he'll never forget.
How about that? King Felix with a perfect game. Kevin Millwood, 5 relievers. That was memorable. Chris Bosio. That was really memorable, because the final out was handled barehanded by Omar Vizquel.
Omar
the shortstop. Chris Bosio.
Iwakuma made 20 starts last year. He was 9-5. But he's had some good years with the Mariners. This is his 5th year in Seattle, and his record with the Mariners is 47-28. It's after 11 years pitching in Japan. So he's better. 35 years old.
Well, it started with Ichiro. A lot of the Japanese-born players end up signing with the Mariners, and there is a reason for that. And Jojima, the catcher. Ichiro, of course.
Yeah, the closer. What's his name? Sasaki. He was good.
Jojima actually had another year on his contract and gave it up and went back to Tokyo, or back to Japan.
This year, Iwakuma making his 6th start, and he's trying to get his first win. Just off the plate. So it's 2-0 to Chris Coghlan. Coghlan at 154 with 4 home runs, 10 RBI.
Maybe the biggest play for the Mariners last night, biggest at bat, was Chris Coghlan when he attempted to bunt twice. Took the pitches for ball 2, took the bunt off, and he popped it up on the infield. It's against the lefty.
Yeah, that was a big play, because it was a 4-3 game with a runner at second and nobody out.
And Stephen Vogt never got off second base, and that was huge because it turned out to be the 1 run. The A's tied it then. Who knows what could have happened.
Two and 1 the count. Well, there were so many little things that happened in last night's game, and I think you can say that about a lot of games, but when it's a 1-run loss, you tend to pick through the loss a little bit closer. That young man right there, and he may have won the game for Seattle because he made 3 or 4 terrific plays defensively. When the A's needed to make that one defensive play on a stolen base, they did not do it, as it was a Mariners 1-run win.
Well, it just goes to show you that why being the designated hitter is one-dimensional. You're a hitter. In the case of Marte, he knows he can play a very important position, as he did last night. And basically, he was hitting 8s, and he was 1 for 4. Strikeout, a couple of ground ball outs. So, but what he did defensively, that man, I'm sure, was very happy to have that kind of strength up the middle defensively. And they've got it. Martin in center, Marte and Cano. Double play combination. You got the catching combination.
But Ray, I mean, you think about the 2 plays that he made where he grabbed line drives, and the runner was too far off, and he threw to first for a double play. There's a decent chance that both of those plays, certainly one of them, it would have been first and third.
Absolutely.
With less than 2 outs.
And then the one play he went to the first base side of second, ranging from shortstop to field the ball, because Cano was in the outfield.
1-1 the count to Yonder Alonso, hitting 179, a homer, 6 RBIs.
The Mariners have gone through a few shortstops.
Yeah, they have.
And they finally settled in on a young man who's probably going to be there for many years. And as we said last night, it's probably a big plus to have the veteran Robinson Cano as your double play partner, because he can help you out.
Cano playing well out onto the grass in shallow right field. Now 2-1.
Straight up in the outfield, with the exception of the left fielder Aoki, just noticed him, but center field they're kind of playing him right. So Alonso has hit a ball down in the corner. In right field, that would be a thing of beauty now if you got out in front of one of those cut fastballs.
Vogt at second, Coughlin at first. Missed again outside, 3-1.
Well, the splitter's not even been tempted to swing at least if it's close, as was the case with Reddick last inning to finish the inning. And it's moving too far off the plate.
See what Alonso gets on 3-1. Off-speed pitch outside, and the bases are loaded. Iwakuma will not give in.
Well, that's a backdoor cutter, and just to not break in sharply enough.
So now it's up to Marcus Semien.
Marcus Semien.
202 the average for Marcus with 6 home runs, 11 RBIs. For 2 last night for Semien, and that one on the outside corner for a strike. He also walked last night. I think he's had 3 runs on 6 hits last night, and they struck out 10 times.
You're not overpowering if you don't have a mid-90s fastball that you could feature, and your fastball is going to top out 87, 88, 9 maybe. You're going to try to throw everything in the world except a fastball. That's his best fastball right there, 90 miles per hour, and overthrew it.
So struggling here in the second. .36 pitches thrown. He had a 3 up, 3 down first inning. Cano with a nice play. Lind has to hustle back to first base. He got there, and Cano takes a hit and probably a couple of RBIs away from Marcus Semien. So the A's leave him loaded. No score after 2. A's Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by AAA. What does your insurance do when it's not doing insurance? It should do more. Go to AAA.com for details. Beautiful look at the Bay Bridge. They're okay. She's got her Warrior cap on, though.
He's got an old throwback Mariners cap on.
That's right. You wore that one.
Yeah.
In your long and storied career as a Seattle Mariner.
Yeah, 2 weeks in the inaugural season.
It was a little gray up there at that time. Right?
Yeah, but they had the Kingdome, so there's no rainouts. Wake up, pouring down the rain. So, oops, it's covered.
Bunted. A nice play by Alonso, and he missed him. But Alonso says, "Whoa!"
And now
they're calling him out of the baseline.
But didn't he tag him anyway?
Alonso immediately turned to the A's dugout and said, "Oh, I did tag him," but Dan Bellino, the home plate umpire, said Marte was out of the baseline and he called him out. So either way, it's an out, because you're going to see here that he did tag him right.
Oh yeah, how could he miss that? And then he ran out on the grass. You got to stay in the running lane. The bunt, and he went there at one step on the grass. And first of all, what was Amari looking at that he could miss the tag when his body, his uniform moved? But he was out anyway, which is good.
So 1 out, and here's Steve Clevenger, the catcher. Clevenger at 143 with a homer. Got 3 hits and 21 at bats, and this one is rolled into center field for a base hit. So Clevenger beats the shift.
Batting in the 9th position, center fielder, number 12.
Fastball up, and see where the second baseman was playing. And a base hit for Clevenger.
So that's the first hit for the Mariners, and now Leonys Martin will step in. Martin struggling offensively, but he's a plus in the outfield. He's hitting 169 so far this year. Does have 4 home runs. Got 13 hits, 3 doubles, and the 4 home runs. A couple of stolen bases. And that one's hit high to right field. Reddick near the wall, leaps, gone. Leonys Martin with his 5th home run of the year, and the Mariners take a 2-0 lead.
There's your hanging curveball that Martin just started his aggressive swing, and the curveball was up in his zone. I mean, he just let it go, and that's big time hanger. And he hit plenty of it, and it was going to be a problem at all to get out of here. Reddick trying to time his jump, but he could not jump into the seats, and that was enough. Coming at you. Wow, that's close.
It's good camera work. So for the Mariners, that's their 33rd home run of the year. They've hit the 2nd most home runs in the American League. Only the Orioles have hit more. One and one the count to Nori Aoki. It's a big hop for Simeon. 2 away here in the 3rd. And now Seth Smith will step in.
Now batting,
Sonny Gray made a couple of starts against the Mariners last year, both earlier in the year, and he pitched extremely well, but got a pair of no decisions. He faced him 5 times in 2014. But he's always pitched well against the Mariners. 4-1 in his career, with the ERA just a shade over 2. First pitch strike to Seth Smith, who hit into a 5-6-3 double play in the 1st inning.
I would have to think opposing teams look at Sonny Gray in the case of the Mariners, like the A's will look at Felix Hernandez in the series finale tomorrow. Figure if you score, it's a shock, and maybe the shock in the dugout. They have a 2-run home run for Martin, the number 9 hitter. They might look at Clevenger's ground ball that put him on, put Sonny Gray on the stretch, and ended up hanging the curveball.
Lowry has it out on the grass to first. Side retired, but Leonis Martin does damage. His 5th home run of the year, and the Mariners lead 2-0.
Fans, if you want to sit in the best suite in the Coliseum, check out the A's President's Suite located right above the first base bag. The suite includes an extensive high-end food package, beer and wine, VIP parking, and more. Availability is limited for this popular experience, so book your President's Suite today by calling 510-638-GO-A's or visiting athletics.com/president. Sure, Matt, Premium Services, or Steve Fennell, they'll all be happy to take care of it.
Seth Smith ran a long ways, and he gets to it, and Burns is retired. So who do you call in the suites?
Matt Langford. All right, he's a Bay Area young man who's taken over the Premium Suite services. Long run, and you're right, for Seth Smith, who has been playing outstanding baseball for the Mariners.
Lowry.
That's a good jump on a ball that was lofted into shallow right field, and able to track it down.
First pitch to Lowry in first strike. Lowry hit a ball very well in the first inning. Sent Martin racing back toward the wall, and he made the catch. And a quick 0-2, Jed Lowry. Lowry back at second base. Pinch hit last night. And that one runs off the plate 89 miles an hour. Reddick to follow here in the bottom of the third. Mariners with the home run by Marte. And there's a line drive and a base hit to left field. Hit number 2 for the A's.
I would say Jed Lowry is one player for the A's that the Mariners, with the success he's had against them by doing just this, they would forget about the shift. But they have 3 to the right side, and they pitch him outside. And Jed's smart enough to say, I'll take it. I mean, the shortstop's not going to catch it, but he has hit many ground balls in that same area through the infield on the left side with 3 to the right. So keep playing him. He keeps going that way. And why not? Josh Reddick also can do that.
And Reddick watches that pitch drop low. Reddick struck out in the first. It's the only strikeout for Iwakuma so far. right to Marte. He's going to take it himself. And he does, and that's a 6-3 double play. So the shift worked there. Well positioned was the shortstop Cattell. Marte. 2-0 Mariners after 3. McDonald's last Tuesday, Robinson Cano at home. His 10th career grand slam, his first since 2012. Gave him 6 RBIs in the game, and it sent him over the 1,000 RBI mark in his career. 10 grand slams, the second highest total as the second baseman in Major League history. Jeff Kent had 13. Some more notes on Robinson Cano. 2,000 hits, 450 doubles, only the second baseman to do that. So he is a terrific player.
With 7 more years on his contract, he's got a chance to amass some serious numbers that might send him to Cooperstown.
He has 2,041 hits. He has 247 career home runs, and maybe another one. And it is. Make it 248. 3-0 Mariners as Cano goes the other way.
And that's why you cannot do anything except play him straight up, because he'll use the whole field. He just proved it, going left center. Staying up, and if there's a problem for Sonny Gray, this is one of them. It's staying up in the zone. That's what happened to Martin with a hanging curveball, and Robinson Cano. So he could do that in this part. Yankee Stadium, it's about 390 left center, so it's a little bit different, but he used a lot down each line, and especially in right field.
Big hop for Marcus Semien, so Cruz is retired. It's the first home run to straightaway left field for Cano. He's hit 2 to center and 6 to right.
Number 26.
The most home runs he hit in a season in his career, 33. That was with the Yankees in 2012. He's got 9 now this year. Second highest total was 29. He was going to hit some home runs at Yankee Stadium. There's no doubt about that. A little different deal in Seattle. He hit 21 last year. There's our shot, but it's foul. Another hard hit ball by Adam Lind. He doesn't get cheated. Adam Lind will be a free agent at the end of this year. He'll be 33 years old in July. And he swings through that breaking ball, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Sonny Gray.
Well, he kept the ball down, good curveball, biting hard down, and gets a strikeout with the curveball. That's where he maybe tried to throw it to Martin when he left it up and hit a 2-run home run. Cano, just a good hitter.
So here's Seager, who grounded out to short in the second inning. He actually grounded out into the shift. He hit a ball right up the middle. Simeon, well, he was playing where he's playing right now, right behind second base. So you can't really just say he grounded out to short anymore, Ray.
That's right. Sonny Gray last year one time gave up 3 home runs in a game. But, you know, he had the all-star season last year, and just checking in his first 18 starts last year, becoming an all-star, he gave up a total of 5 home runs. He's given up 5 already this year. This is the first time multi-home run game.
Yeah, 5 in 32 innings. So a 2-run homer by Martin in the 3rd, solo homer by Cano here in the 4th.
They always say that home runs usually are hit with bad pitches, and when you leave the pitches up, they become very good pitches to hit. As that one was up, and it was a good one to hit. And
Seager hustling into second base, and he's got a sliding double. So another hard hit ball.
Another pitch that was up. Reddick knew the ball was going to be over his head, tried to play it off the wall, but that's a belt high pitch for Seager, who crushes it in the big double down the right field line last night in the 2-run inning. And Reddick just no chance to be able to catch it, and tried to bare hand and make a quick throw, a little bit offline.
So Ketel Marte will hit, switch hitter. Tried to bunt last inning and was actually called out going out of the baseline, trying to avoid the tag. Chops this one to Lowry, who charges to get a good hop underhands to first, and that will do it for the Mariners in the top of the 4th. But they get a solo home run by Robinson Cano, so Seattle now leads 3-0. A's Baseball in CSN California is brought to you by Kelly Moore Paint, celebrating 70 years as your neighborhood paint store. So it's the Mariners with a 3-0 lead, bottom of the 4th inning. So still time for the A's to get something going against Sashi Iwakuma. It'll be Davis, Vogt, and Fegley. Iwakuma, 44 pitches through 3 innings. He's given up a couple of hits. And he worked out of a jam in the second inning when the A's had the bases loaded, but got a nice defensive play from Robinson Cano. The Mariners have sparkled defensively in this series, and it's made a huge difference for him.
And Iwakuma really giving some pretty good pitches to hit, but in the case of the first pitch breaking ball to Davis, he didn't offer at it, although it's a pretty good pitch to hit.
Davis grounded to third in the second inning. Doesn't look like there's any choking up on Chris Davis' bat either. He's right down at the end.
Yeah.
No, that's not a choke up swing that Chris Davis throws out there. Actually, I am completely wrong, Ray Fosse.
Yeah, it's 2 strikes though. Maybe
I did not see any of the nod before, but he did choke up.
Well, 2 strikes and get a little bit better control of the bat if that's the case.
Not a bad idea.
And that's very good, because that means with a couple of strikes he's trying to protect. With his power, he can protect and still hit a home run.
And he skies this one to left, just got under it. Aoki coming in. Aoki has it.
Fans join the A's for Korean Heritage Night, presented by Cache Creek Casino Resort. It's on Tuesday, May the 17th. Fans that purchase a special ticket will receive an exclusive A's Korean Heritage Night hat, and it's also a Chevy-free parking Tuesday. Tickets and more information, visit athletics.com/Korean today.
So here's Vogt, who had a base hit in the second inning. Stephen Vogt DHing tonight. 4 hits and 15 at bats now in his career against Iwakuma. Floats a curve in there for a strike.
Well, Seager's playing shallow in the event that Stephen Vogt's thinking about bunting. 3 to the right side. And maybe Stephen will try to flip another one to left field. If he gets down to 2 strikes, gets a splitter.
Sinker is low, 87 miles an hour. Slider, maybe a cutter, 1 and 2.
I think your description of him, that he does not give in at any time, and there's a great example. He's willing to try to get a hitter to chase a pitch that's out of the strike zone. He may tempt a hitter with a first pitch breaking ball down the middle, which Chris Davis got, that he did not offer at.
Went in there again, this time with a fastball. Stephen Vogt got the head of the bat out. Clevenger wants this pitch down, and he got it down, and Vogt swings and misses. See, Clevenger had to tap his glove on the ground, which sets the universal catching sign to keep it down. And he did. And he got a strikeout.
Well, and he's also telling Iwakuma, throw it down there and I'll block it. That's the most important thing, especially with a couple of strikes. And he does block it nicely. And Stephen Vogt swinging the pitch in the strike zone. And Clevenger, I mean, that's his perfect technique that you'll find on a catcher, that he goes down to his knees, puts the glove on the ground, and blocks the ball with his body. Didn't even attempt to bring the glove up and catch the ball.
So here's Fegley. He'll hit with 2 outs. In the air toward right, Seth Smith is right there, and Iwakuma has his second 3-up, 3-down inning. So we're headed to the 5th. It's the Mariners 3 and the A's nothing.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live app streaming sports service, delivers everything you have come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
First pitch to Clevenger, shows bunt and takes the ball from Sonny Gray. Sonny about to throw pitch number 50. He's given up 4 hits, a couple of home runs, and he has struck out 3 so far. Clevenger shoots one the other way, and he's 2 for 2. Saw Clevenger just a little bit in Baltimore last year, and he hurt the A's a little bit.
Well, he actually DH some. This is a curveball after last inning or 2 innings ago that with 1 out Clevenger single beat the shift, and then a hanging breaking ball to Martin and a 2-run home run.
So here is Martin. And he bunts it. Sonny Gray barehands his throw, and it pulls Alonso off the bag, and that is a Leonys Martin specialty. He is a terrific bunter. So it's going to be a base hit. Sonny barehanded it, but he had to throw quickly.
Well, he tried to push it, but Sonny Gray is very quick off the mound, and maybe the fact that he did barehanded, not have a very good grip, and just overthrew it. Coughlin had to get out of the way. He did, but guy hits a 2-run home run and then bunts. That's the extreme there. Alonso, smart play coming off the bag, but he did have the second baseman Lowry backing up, which is important.
He's got good bunting form. I mean, he knows how to do it. He gets that bat out there. There's an art to it, and Leonys Martin, he has it. You can look at it. Watch how he gets that bat out there.
And he could drag the ball or push it. This time he decided to push it.
He's running to first. So 6 hits now for the Mariners. And Aoki, another guy you got to be careful with. Slices that one foul. Rattles around on top of the tarp.
Well, when you have the bottom 2 guys in the batting order with 4 hits total to 6, turning it over to the top, that makes it tough to defend. Good for those guys in the Mariners uniform, knowing that guys at the bottom are setting the table.
So that time Aoki shows bunt and called the ball. 2-1.
Fagley likes to throw. He's come up twice, so nothing else. He's keeping Clevenger close to second with his fakes to second.
Aoki thinking about bunting, and he missed that one. Not quite sure about that bunting style by Nori Aoki.
He doesn't either.
he was in good decide, Ray. Should I bunch? Yeah, that's not good for him. He jabbed at it.
If you're going to sacrifice, it's called sacrifice. That means sacrifice yourself, not to try to push the ball to get a base hit.
So now the count 2-2. And he tries to bunt again. That's a head scratcher, folks, and it'll be a strikeout for Sonny Gray. So strikeout number 4. That would be one of the biggest wasted at bats I've ever seen.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And it would have been even worse if he'd have gotten the bunt down in fair territory. That you don't want. It's a curveball, and you could say a good pitch to bunt, maybe not, but that is a strike him out with 3, a bunt with 2 strikes. Hard to believe, especially with his ability to put the ball in play and use the whole
Tough
field.
Double up.
Yeah.
So here's Seth Smith. Big man to get here with Cano in the on deck circle. Smith has grounded out twice, once into a double play. First pitch is low from Sonny Gray. Sonny he's had 1 3-up 3-down inning, but he also faced just 3 in the first inning. Got a double play. Right there for strike 1-1. Good pitch.
Effectively setting up inside, and Seth Smith started, couldn't pull, and not looking for the pitch on the inner part of the plate, especially with no strikes.
Strike inside corner at the knees. Seth Smith may have been looking to the outside part of the plate.
Yeah, I think the last 2 pitches, both pitches, he'd been looking away, and both of them on the inside corner.
Simeon playing right near second base, just to the right of the bag. And a breaking ball. That time, Seth Smith was able to hold up. Outfield straight away for Smith.
Clevenger might not be a threat to steal, but with Coughlin, the third baseman, over in the shortstop position, very similar to last night when Aoki did steal third, especially the same thing with Seth Smith at the plate.
Makes the runner a lot faster.
Oh, yeah. Well, and again, vaguely after watching Stephen Vogt last night, if he takes off, he might not throw because Coughlin would be on the move.
Another good take by Seth Smith. So
now what do you do?
See if they go.
Now if they go, exactly. What's it going to be? You got to go behind the trailing runner? I would think that Vagley might consider that. That's Clevenger at second. He'd have the speed with Martin at first base. He's not getting a big lead either.
See if Clevenger inches off a little bit.
With the short lead he's getting, I'd be shocked if he runs.
Yeah, he's not really going very
far. He could get a lot bigger lead if he is going to think about running.
He gets off a little bit. Not running, and strike 3 call. So Seth Smith couldn't get the bat off his shoulders.
Well, this is a perfect pitch, and it took a little bit of a delayed call with Dan Bellino. It had the corner, it's just a matter of the height. That's a perfect pitch inside. All 3 strikes were on the inside part of the plate, inside corner. Right at the knees. He'd say Seth Smith thought he had ball 4, but not the case. Did not argue on any of those 3 pitches. Maybe Seth just doesn't want to argue.
So 2 outs. 1 more big out to get as it's Robinson Cano. Cano went for that fastball on the inner half. This is what Cano did in the 4th inning, his 9th home run of the year.
See the location. That is a pitch to hit hard, and he hit it hard. And again, that's an out at Yankee Stadium because it's 389 to left center. And Robinson Cano does use the whole field, but there were more doubles when he played for the Yankees for so many years.
Slaps that one down the left field line, and it's foul. It's an example right there of what Cano can do. I think Cano's such a good hitter, Ray. He could hit away from the shift.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He's good enough to do that.
Absolutely. And this pitch was away, and that's what he was trying to do. And he's all hands. He gets the hands out, even though he might be fooled with his body, but the hands are so strong. And the fact he is healthy this year, and it's showing with the numbers he's putting up.
Sonny ahead in the count, 0-2. Swing, and did he foul it? No, he did not. The tag put on by Fegley, and Sonny Gray comes back and strikes out 3 in a row, and the Mariners do not score. Bottom of the 5th coming up. Seattle 3, the A's 0. A's Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by Clipper. A million Bay Area transit riders agree using Clipper is easier than using cash. Beautiful downtown Orinda, the famous Orinda Theater. You can see it off of the 24 if you decide to go that way home.
You might see Dr. Elliot Schwartz over in that area also.
Where his office is.
Is that Orinda area, so Dr. Schwartz, he's lost a lot of weight. You've seen him.
He looks great. Yeah.
Tremendous. I could never follow in his footsteps because he doesn't eat desserts.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm with you. We got no shot there.
No. But it looks good.
Tough little hop from Marte. He handles it. Coughlin is out. 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning. A's trailing 3-0. Jake Arrieta from the Chicago Cubs is at it again, Ray. Tonight against the Pittsburgh Pirates, he goes 7 innings, shutout baseball. He gets the win, so Jake Arrieta is now 6-0 with a 0.84 ERA.
What was the score?
What was the score? It wasn't close, put it that way.
You know, I saw
7-1 Cubs.
He's getting 10+ runs per start, run support.
Is he?
10+ runs. He only got 7 tonight.
Yeah.
But the way he's pitching, Cy Young Award.
You only need 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's about it. Shut down for 7 innings. But
so he goes to 6-0. Chris Sale is also 6-0 from the White Sox. So City of Chicago has a little extra bounce in its step. The White Sox and the Cubs both off to great starts. So that's kind of fun. Into the glove of Seager, and he got it in the air. Yes, he did. Nice play. He was playing over and a little bit shallow, so he had a low backhander and he grabbed it.
Well, Alonso, good idea on the 2-0, trying to go that direction, but just, you know, the position, one guy on the left side, is just a matter of where he's going to be positioned. In this case, perfectly placed with Alonso finding him. The threat of the game, 2nd inning, with this man up after a couple of walks by Iwakuma and a single to the opposite field. Seaman hit the ball hard, and that's kind of the difference in this game so far.
Yeah, Cano made a nice play. Seager won a Gold Glove in 2014. not an easy position to win a Gold Glove. And if you think about Beltran and Machado and Donaldson, I mean, these guys could all easily win a Gold Glove. Check swing, foul just past the Mariners dugout. So Semien behind in the count, 1-2. 63 pitches for Iwakuma. He's a deliberate one.
He's got a deliberate windup that he's feasting tonight, and he's looking for his first win. And the way he's pitching, mixing his pitches, only giving up a couple of hits.
He throws a lot of different stuff. Slider, splitter. Fastball is up, 88 miles an hour. So full count.
Those are tempting, teasing fastballs. And I'd probably go with a cutter or splitter. Probably be surprised to give in to him, even in this count, in this situation. You could just rear back and say, here's my 89-90, try to hit it, especially with a 3-0 lead.
Here it is. Towards Seager. Seager has a good hop. Throws high, and Lynn kept his foot on the bag. Side retired. 7 in a row. Retired by Hisashi Iwakuma. A's may take a look at it. They're looking toward Mark Kotsay, who's getting on the phone. Did Lynn keep his foot on the bag? And they're saying that he did. So, 6th inning coming up. It's the Mariners 3 and the A's nothing.
Are going to take a Reese's peanut butter cup, put it on their foreheads, and wiggle it down to their mouths in a minute.
Three 0. The Mariners lead the Athletics. It's the top of the 6th inning. So Sonny Gray will try to keep it at that as he faces Cruz, Lind, and Seager. And the first one is lifted toward right center, hit pretty well. Reddick near the wall. He's got just enough room, and he makes the play.
Well, Sonny Gray got Aoki with a bunt attempt for 2 strikes. It went foul, so that's strikeout number 1 in the inning. Seth Smith on a 3-2 fastball inside corner. He thought it was walk. No, strike 3. And then to Roberts Cano, swinging a high fastball. And Sonny Gray, 14 pitches, getting 3 strikeouts in the 5th inning, giving him a total of 6. Is it so far 3 runs on 6 hits, and home runs accounting for all 3 runs.
Adam Lind is 0 for 2. Pop out to third, and then a strikeout swinging in the 4th inning. pitch there at the knees for a strike. The Mariners, they have that distinction, Ray, of having the longest postseason drought in the major leagues coming into this year. That's no fun.
No.
As we like to say, the list you don't want to be on. They have gone 14 consecutive years without going to the postseason. The Blue Jays were first on that list,
yes,
but they checked themselves off last year. Marlins are second, Padres third, White Sox fourth. So you got to go back to 2001. Ray, you remember that team. It was a terrific team, but couldn't get through the postseason.
So Edgar Martinez with that look on his face and saying, can we do it this year? Because he was there. Of course, what he did in '95 helped build Safeco Field with a double down the left field line, scoring Junior. And the great Dave Niehaus with the call that is very memorable. Continues to be.
Well, this is the Mariners' 40th year as a franchise. They have never been to the World Series. Expansion in 1977. Came in with the Toronto Blue Jays. It's one of the old Mariner hats. Good swing there by Seager.
At Dennis Eckers, they pitched his no-hitter, and it was Rupert Jones. I mean, that was within about an inning of time the great. It was Cy Young with 23 consecutive scoreless innings, and Rupert Jones hit a solo home run off Eck and ended the streak. Griffey was great there. Of course, Jay Buhner, Dan Wilson catcher. You saw Edgar, Randy Johnson, Hall of Famer, going in as or went in as a Diamondback.
In the air toward left, Davis backs up. Davis warning track. He's got it. So 6 in a row retired by Sonny Gray. Bottom of the 6th coming up. See if the A's can get rolling. But this is our favorite Seattle Mariner.
Wow. Wow.
Stash looks better than ever. CSN California is brought to you locally by Energy Upgrade California. Energy tips, rebates, and financing options are available at energyupgradeca.org. 3-0, bottom of the 6th inning from the Coliseum.
A's need some offense.
Got to get going. Last night, just 3 runs on 6 hits. Tonight, just a couple of hits through 5 innings, so Iwakuma's been tough so far.
Well, the A's should have been able to at least think about Sunday and Doug Fister, who did a great job against the Athletics, changing speeds and similar velocities. Iwakuma, similar pitches, except for the splitter. That started.
So Burns has a hit. He'll make a big turn. He'll stay at first, and that's a leadoff single.
That is hitting by Billy Burns, and we just hope to see more of it, because just slapped the ball, hit it hard past the shortstop, and the ball was left up. He hit down on the ball, similar to what he did over the weekend. trying more and more to do it. And Marte played him just enough to pull that the ball normally would be right to him. And he thought about two with Aoki having to go to his left, but shut it down, which is a good idea.
So Burns gets his first hit in the series, and now we'll see if the A's can string some hits together. Jed Lowry has hit a fly ball to center field deep, and he has singled to left field. Lowry has a home run in his career against Iwakuma, and the first pitch just a little bit low. Lowry's been a hot hitter. Hot hitter for about 2.5 weeks. Slapped foul off the backstop and then into the A's dugout.
Unfortunately, Jed's been dealing with a calf injury, and over the weekend hit a ground ball that ended up being a boot by the third baseman. But you know, you really have to take it easy because the A's love to have him in the lineup. Got the day off yesterday, or the night off, except for pinch hitting in the ninth inning, just as a give him a little bit of a breather. Playing on the turf as the A's did in Toronto didn't help. And they'll be going to Tampa in a couple of weeks. Playing on that field turf.
Burns runs, pitches a strike, throw to second base is late. Billy Burns gets his 8th stolen base. He is 8 for 9 in steals this year.
Got a great jump, head down all the way, and that's even with just the count of 1-1 on Jed Lowry. But you notice the second base umpire, Tom Hallion, waiting, and then looked in, saw that Billy Burns kept the hand, the foot, everything on the bag. Clevenger. Guess he thought he had him, but really Billy Burns just outran him. Got a pretty good jump off Iwakuma. And good job by Jed Lowry taking the pitch, allowing him to steal second, and especially with Billy not even looking back, which is also important.
So pickoff attempt. This is where Lowry's been good this year. Getting big hits with runners in scoring position. So at some point Iwakuma will throw this pitch. Not exactly sure when it's going to happen. Blocked by Clevenger.
Well, it's been a while since we've seen a catcher. Of course, we see Vogt and Finkley do a good job. Watch this. He gets the glove down, and actually came up just a little bit, but the ball went into his glove as he came up, and just a good job, good technique by Clevenger. And we're talking about last year, and again with the Orioles, he was DHing some because his bat is good, and average not so great this year, but he's got a couple of hits tonight.
Might have been that Mark Trumbo trade.
That's right.
Grounded, and that's going to get through, and that's going to be a base hit, and that's going to drive in a run as Burns rounds third, trots home. So again, Jed Lowry with a clutch base hit, and now it's 3-1.
And once again, Jed Lowry finds a way to beat the shift. He's done it against the Mariners, and gets the split, stays with it, and so where Cano's playing and where the ball is hit. I mean, granted, he would have gotten Billy Burns to third, but Billy Burns was able to score on this ball that gets through the infield. Ron Washington able to send the speedster without any problem. So Jed Lowry with a big 2-strike hit. And Billy Burns with his opposite field hit steals second and scores on Jed Lowry's base hit.
So Lowry gets his 14th RBI, and here's Reddick, still nobody out. In first strike to Reddick, who has struck out, and he has hit into a 6-3 double play. So 1 for 6 in the series. He's 7 for 23 in his career against Iwakuma. Lind has it. He'll fire to second, out there, back to first, and it's not in time. Reddick beat it. So fielder's choice.
Marte's got the strong arm, but really this is going to be tough. Lind able to go to second, but the return throw, Reddick just runs too well. Gets out of the box quickly and able to beat the return throw from the shortstop Marte, as then went back to the bag.
So now Chris Davis will hit. Del Nuno starts to throw. Pitched last night. So Davis, third at bat. He has grounded to third and hit a fly ball to left field. .75 pitches now for Hisashi Iwakuma. Marte, what a play. To Cano, to first, a double play. You probably...
they're going to look at second because Cano came across the bag, and that's... I think they're going to ask if his foot was on it. We're going to see. Because now to take a look at him. A great flip, great play by Marte. Is Cano on the bag? Yes, he is. So that's going to be a moot point. It's going to be a great double play.
So more defense from the Mariners. And now it's a 3-1 game as we go to the 7th. Central with live Sharks post-game coverage is airing right now on CSN Plus. CSN Plus can be found on Comcast channels 104 and in high def 819, DirecTV channel 698-1 and AT&T 768, and in high def on 1768. If you can't find CSN Plus, log on to csncalifornia.com or call your local cable provider. Sharks lost tonight in Nashville, but they still lead that series 2-1. Here at the Coliseum, 3-1, the Mariners lead the A's. It is the top of the 7th inning. It's 0-2 to Ketel Marte, who has put on quite a defensive show in this series.
It's been the difference in this series yesterday or last night, and again tonight.
But I think what's really hurting the A's, Ray, is the plays he's making. They're being turned into double plays.
Exactly. And that Chris Davis hit one that could have been a double, could have been second and third. Instead, the backhanded flip to Cano, who did keep his foot on the bag, came across the illusion that he had actually come across the bag. But this ball's headed as hard as Chris Davis hits the ball. Marte backhand. Cano kept his foot on, and then a 6-4-3 unbelievable double play, and stop it, it's fine, and then to flip it, giving a chance for Cano, and led him perfectly with the flip.
Just got a piece of that sharp breaking ball from Sonny Gray. You can see the foot of Cano. It is on the bag.
Yep. Cano is so good around the bag. It's not surprising, but just the illusion that maybe he came across too much, but turned out to be an outstanding double play.
Blocked nicely by Fegley. So 1 and 2, Marte, Clevenger, and Martin, the bottom 3 in the order. This group has done damage. Clevenger's got 2 hits. Martin has 2 hits. So those guys have 4 of the 6 hits for the Mariners. High fastball, and it's lined into right for a hit. So leadoff single by Marte, and that gets us to our greater coverage of baseball, which is brought to you by T-Mobile. Quick look at the scores from the AL West. The Blue Jays come back. They tied in the 9th, and then Justin Smoke with a walk-off home run in the 10th. So the Blue Jays beat the Rangers 3-1. The Brewers beat the Angels 5-4. Angels continue to struggle. Chris Carter with a couple of home runs. Astros needed a win. They got one, as George Springer homered, and the Astros at home beat the Minnesota Twins 6-4. Castro also homered for the Astros.
Former Astro, former Athletic Chris Carter, 2 home runs.
Off of Fegley, and it rolls away. The Astros have not won back-to-back games this year, Ray. They'll try to do it tomorrow.
Hard to believe. Josh Fegley and Sonny Gray kind of overthrew the pitch, and all he could do is reach back and try to backhand. But off his catcher's mitt, and a wild pitch. Clevenger, who's had the good night, see if he attempts to at least advance the runner.
Clevenger hits one high and foul. 2 singles and a run scored for Clevenger. One more note on that Blue Jays game. It was Justin Smoke who tied the game in the bottom of the 9th with a home run.
How often
and then he
does that
won
happen?
it in the bottom of the 10th.
Storybook, man.
That would be storybook.
That's what you're supposed to do. Tie it and win it all yourself. And here's our post-game guest.
Yeah, I would say. Clevenger takes a fastball for a strike. Indians beat the Tigers 7-3 in Cleveland. 3 hits and a home run for fine young shortstop Francisco Lindor. Tomlin over Verlander. Verlander gave up 7 earned runs.
Did Lindor hit for the cycle? Is it triple away?
Nope.
Cycle
came up short. Clevenger lost one toward right center. Marte is going to tag. Burns grabs it. The throw to third, just a shade offline, and Marte with that very fine speed gets to third. So pretty good execution so far by the Mariners.
You know, for some reason, Sonny Gray took a long time to deliver that pitch. He just kind of stood on the mound and looking back at Marte, and really gave the hitter Clevenger a chance to get out in front and pull the ball deep enough to center field, and now the infield's going to have to play in. But a very good at bat by Clevenger with 2 strikes to be able to get out in front and pull to advance the runner.
So infield in for Leonys Martin, who has hit a 2-run homer and he has singled. His single was a bunt single. A broken bat, shallow right. We could have some action. No, Marte is not even going to challenge. He was about 10 feet down the line. To me, going down the line at all on that fly ball makes no sense.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean you have to go, but tag up and bluff.
Tag up and
you never
draw
know.
a throw. You may overthrow everybody.
Yep. but he was off the bag, and he stayed off the bag until Reddick caught it.
Now batting, number 8.
So 2 away, and now Aoki.
If they don't feel it's deep enough, they go down. He's going back and forth just in case the ball dropped. But I agree. But if you can draw a throw,
or what if the throw back in short hops an infielder and rolls 5 feet away,
right, and you've tagged and you come down the line, you can continue.
Yep. Aoki taps it foul, rolls behind home plate. Aoki, a walk, a ground out, and a strikeout. The strikeout came when he tried to bunt with 2 strikes. Up the middle, Simeon has it, and he's not going to be able to make a throw. Marte comes in to score, and that's a big run for the Mariners. So Aoki just put it in play, and he's got good speed. Simeon was not going to throw him out.
All the more reason to scratch your head and say, why is he bunting with 2 strikes and last at bat? But he did put the ball in play with 2 outs. He hits it up the middle, and Marcus Simeon, while he had the great range to get to the ball, you're right, probably the best thing, not attempt to make a quick throw and make a bad throw. But Aoki walked to start the game, and a big hit with 2 outs in this inning. That's what the Mariners are doing. They're getting their hits, and at the right time.
So now Seth Smith will hit. See if Aoki tries to swipe a bag.
I saw the numbers of the wild pitches. Sonny Gray with 3. That puts him at the top of the list in the American League. But with his hard curveball, he gets a lot of wild pitches. Overthrew the fastball that advanced Marte into scoring position. The fact that he was able to tag up on Clevenger's ball with nobody out and get to third base. Carnes was doing that last night.
Yeah, I don't want my pitcher doing that. It scares me. Swing and a miss by Seth Smith. White Sox won again. They beat the Red Sox 4-1. Quintana over Wright. White Sox have won 9 out of 11. They are 19-8. Becoming a pretty good story. Pitching's just been sensational for the White Sox. Quintana doesn't get enough credit for how good he is. Runner goes. The ball is looped toward Lowry, who jumps up to make the catch. Side retired. A run on 2 hits. We have reached the 7th inning stretch from the Coliseum. 4-1 Mariners lead. Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by Casino Matrix, Silicon Valley's best bet for gaming, food, and fun 24/7. Mariners leading the A's 4-1. 4-8-0 for Seattle, 1-4-0 for the A's. A's have not been able to get a whole lot of offense going. Really started on Sunday against the Astros. Last night, 3 runs. Tonight, just a run on 4 hits. Bottom of the 7th, Iwakuma with 76 pitches, so his pitch count is in pretty good shape. There's a shot foul. Nice effort. It's a hit. I'm not going to give him an error. It's a hit. Yeah, it was all right. It wasn't great. Almost took a shot to the wrist, though. Yeah, that's a hit. Right there, and it's 0-2 to Stephen Vogt. That's Vincent, the right-handed. He pitched last night as well. Clevenger clearly wanted the high fastball.
Might as well get a stool and step up on it the way he jumped up.
That was kind of funny. There was no question he wanted the high fastball.
He wanted a high.
He wants this one low.
Down in the dirt in the inner part of the plate. Where's he? What's the next one?
Vogt has a single and a strikeout so far. Fegley to follow, then Coughlin.
Well, he wanted one high and wanted one in the dirt. Iwakuma said, where do you want this one?
Right down the middle.
Throw a split down the middle.
Down the middle. So we'll see where it is. 2-2 pitch. Not close. So full count.
It was a split. Clevenger set up down the middle, but it was inside. So unfortunately, the A's scored 1 to make it a 2-run game, but gave it back to the Mariners, back to the 3-run game.
Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Took something off and picks up strikeout number 3.
Well, after all those pitches that he did not come close to the strike zone after 0-2, comes back with just a get me over split, looked like, to strike out Stephen Vogt.
1 out for Fegley. Fegley has hit a fly ball to center field, and he has hit a fly ball to right field. Orioles beat the Yankees 4-1 in Baltimore. Tillman over Severino. Severino is 0-4. Mark Trumbo hit 2 home runs. He now has 8 on the year. And the Yankees continue to struggle. They have lost 6 in a row. They are now 8-16 on the year. So I would imagine those wonderful newspapers that I enjoy reading when I'm in New York, because they're pretty good sports pages, they have to be just roasting the Yankees right now.
Yeah.
Nothing's really going well for the Yankees. Pitching has not been great. They have not been scoring runs.
They got a lot of big contracts.
And they got a lot of big contracts.
Contracts coming off the books next year, but not signing one free agent. They made a couple of trades, but Aroldis Chapman is he back?
Monday.
Monday? So
yeah.
30 games is Monday.
Yep.
But they got to get to him. And they've got a pretty good back end of the bullpen already. He's just going to add to it. But Joe's saying it doesn't help if you don't have the lead.
The Orioles are now 15-10, and we will be in Baltimore this weekend.
Just keep the right away, partner.
Martin drifts over into right center, 2 away.
Fans, what's better than taking your family to the ballpark on a Friday night with the Friday Family Pack? You get 4 Plaza level tickets, 4 Coliseum hot dogs, 4 medium sodas, 4 bags of peanuts for just $60 at every Friday home game. Buy now at athletics.com/family pack, subject to availability. Next Friday is your birthday, May 20th. It's the Friday.
Well, it's all part of the birthday celebration.
Yeah, the Yankees in town. Fireworks.
I requested that.
Fireworks.
Big series.
Yeah. Grease. What was that you said about Grease?
It's got groove. It's got.
Yeah, there you go. I was waiting for that.
3 up, 3 down. Iwakuma's rolling along, and we are going to the 8th. Go 4-1 Seattle.
Wall at the Coliseum with the Josh Reddick bobblehead with spinning action presented by Comerica Bank. Saturday, May the 28th, 15,000 fans will walk away with a replica of one of the Gold Glover's signature catches. It spins, baby. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/tickets, or you can call 877-493-BALL. The spinning Josh Reddick bobblehead. It's a good one. It's a good photograph also on the outfield wall. His signature catch splashed up against the right center field wall.
9 ground ball outs, 6 strikeouts for Sonny Gray. Giving up a couple home runs. Martin and Cano. And Cano just waits on a breaking ball, and he drills it to the gap. Boy, that is just classic hitting.
Yes, it is.
Just waited on a curveball and just went the other way, and it's a double. He's a completely different player this year.
Tell you, his swing, watch him get out on the front foot, keep the bat back. And this is not only an opposite field hit, it's a double. Because it scoots through the outfield grass into the wall. So the home run has gone to left center. He struck out a couple of times, and now a double to left center.
So he's 5 for 8 in this series. And the Mariners with an opportunity to add another insurance run. They picked one up in the 7th. So 90 pitches for Sonny Gray. Action in the bullpen. And the first pitch to Cruz is grounded through the shift and into center field. A little bit left center field. Burns gets to it. So Nelson Cruz gets his first hit tonight and his 4th hit in the series.
Well, like Chris Young, we talk about him, but Nelson Cruz can shoot a ball through the infield. 3 to the left, and Jed Lowry trying to dive to his right. Robinson Cano with 3 guys on the left side had to hold up.
Number 26,
Sabzinski
Adam Lynn.
getting loose, meeting at the mound, and I think Fegley's just trying to give Sabzinski some time. It is Adam Lynn, the left-handed hitter, followed by Seager, so we may see Sabzinski right now.
And it's happened so quickly, just 3 pitches and 2 hits, and Sonny Gray pitching in the 8th inning. Really no starter has gone beyond 7 innings on this season. Sonny Gray one of them, but Sonny is coming off his 2-inning performance.
Hendricks now starts to throw.
That's Stephen Vogt, the DH down there warming up pitching.
So Lynn will face Sonny Gray. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. A couple of interleague games going on. Just final. The Royals beat the Nationals 7-6. In fact, they scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning against Jonathan Papelbon. So big come from behind win by the Royals over the Nationals. One after a high fastball, shallow left. Davis coming in. Simeon going out, and it falls. And it bounces away. Cano will score. And it's 5-1, and the A's do not get an out.
Wow. Well, that's a fly ball. You have a chance to catch this. No RBI, and you hope for a double play. And just Simeon going after it. It must not have been. No, you don't see Chris Davis, outfielder. Of course, a lot of movement because of the way the infield playing Lind. And that is strange that ball would drop, but it did, and it's an RBI single.
And that's going to do it for Sonny Gray. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and brake experts.
A's Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
So it's 5-1, Mariners lead. Sonny Gray, 93 pitches, and he exits after 7+ innings. 11 hits, 5 runs allowed. So Sabzinski comes in to face Seager. A run in and 2 on, nobody out. First pitch to Seager is a fastball low. Double, single, single. The last one hurt though. Ball that should have been caught. Sabzinski appearing in his 14th game. And For the A's, this is their 28th game. Busy guy.
He's a specialist, but he can get righties out as well. And that's what's been good for him and for the Athletics. Melvin can call on him against a tough lefty and Seager, but he can also face righties. We'll see if that is the case. Marte, Clevenger, Martin, bottom part of the batting order. And like you said, this has been a tough part for the Athletics.
Down the right field line, that's trouble, and it is foul. So Seager was sitting on a 2-0 pitch. Seager tonight has grounded to short. He has doubled, and he has hit a fly ball to left field. So Seager is 1 for 3 tonight. He is 2 for 7 in the series. Swing and a miss. Slider there from Zimchinski. So 11 hits for the Mariners, just 4 hits for the Athletics. There has not been an error made in the game. But I think you could say defense has come into play in this game.
For the wrong side as far as the A's are concerned.
Seager lifts one high and deep to right field, and this is not good, folks. Seager with a 3-run homer, and just like that, it's 8-1 Seattle.
Now we talked about and have talked about Seager hits lefties as well, if not better than righties. And he just showed it on a fastball inner part of the plate. And he opens up, he turns and crushes it. So you can see why he likes lefties.
So 6th home run for Seager. And that one hurt. So pitching change. The Mariners now lead 8-1. Game to an 8-1 game, and Sonny Gray, when it's all said and done, 7 earned runs in 7 innings. So Seager, most home runs against left-handed pitching since the start of last year. Well, there you go, Ray. You were right on top of that. 15 against lefties.
Cruz, Trumbo, and Frazier all righties.
He hit a total of 26 home runs last year. He now has 6 this year. So Liam Hendricks comes in. Still nobody out here in the top of the 8th inning. 4 hits and 4 runs. So Marte is the hitter. Marte singled and scored in the 7th. He has also grounded out twice. 2 for 7 in the series. Swung at a high fastball, 94 miles an hour. Clevenger will be next, and then Leonis Martin here in the 8th. Again, late on that fastball.
And he had a great at bat last at bat when he fell behind 0-2, fouled off some very good pitches thrown by Sonny Gray and got the high fastball and singled sharply. And as we remembered him last year, did well offensively against the Athletics. This year, so far, defensively, and does it again there. Slaps the ball to center field with 2 strikes.
So that's 5 consecutive hits by the Mariners here in the 8th inning. And they now have 13 hits.
With 2 strikes, and again fouled off the tough pitch, and then just slaps at the ball that's down in the lower part of the strike zone.
So 2 hits for Marte, and now Clevenger steps in. He's got 2 hits tonight, 2 singles, and he has scored a run. Hendricks misses outside. Liam Hendricks has yet to get on track. He's struggled this year. Anthony's for a strike. So day baseball tomorrow. See the game on the MLB Network. Sean Manaea and Felix Hernandez. Go get him, Sean. Second big league start. Felix Hernandez is sporting a 1.38 ERA in 5 starts, but he's actually taken a couple losses. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Clevenger is retired on the strikeout. So Hernandez 2-2 with that very fine ERA. And Sean Manaea,
number 12,
pretty good stuff on Friday night. Some of the runs scored after he left.
Yeah, he left trailing 4-2, or actually 2-0, 2-2, whatever, but 2 runs scored after he did leave, so the 4 gave up. He left trailing by 2, but difference in the game. I mean, he pitched well considering it was his debut, and family and friends on hand. They all enjoyed it and showed a lot of composure as he did during spring training. Slider with the 3-2. Gaddis with a high fastball.
And maybe a little more relaxed
Yep.
tomorrow afternoon. Leonis Martin, a home run, 2-run shot, also a single and a fly ball to right field. Everybody chipping in tonight. Hendricks to first, and that's the second out. He's got to be careful with Martin. He is very fast. It gets a runner in scoring position. Marte down to second base, and here's Aoki.
Now batting, number 8, Nori Aoki.
Aoki had a big hit in the 7th inning. It was nothing more than an infield hit, but it came with 2 outs and it knocked in a run and made it 4-1 at the time. Swing and a miss. Good fastball there by Hendricks. There's some late life at 94 miles an hour.
Important thing about the Aoki base hit, it came with 2 outs. It looked like the A's, after they had made it a 3-1 game, gave it right back with the Aoki coming up with the 2-out hit.
That one rolled toward first. Alonso will take care of it. Side retired. Major damage done by the Mariners. 4 runs on 5 hits. Kyle Seager with a 3-run shot. So bottom of the 8th coming up. Here's our game summary for tonight, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. So it was a tight game, but 1 in the 7th and 4 in the 8th for the Mariners, and that sort of opened it up. And it's now an 8-1 game. Iwakuma, 7 innings. He is out, so the Mariners have gone to their bullpen. Another big night for Cano. And Sonny Gray ends up allowing 7 earned runs in 7+ innings. And it's a little bit of a tough stretch right now. So the new pitcher is Michael Guaipe. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake expert. So Guaipe comes in, just his 2nd appearance.
Showed up when Joaquin Benoit went on the disabled list. Faced the A's 3 times last year, late in the season.
Alonso, Semien, and Burns. So Iwakuma very good tonight. 7 innings, 4 hits. He's had a couple chances against them. He ended up getting 1 run, and that was in the 6th inning. Alonso tonight has walked, and then he lined out to 3rd. One and 1 the count. 94 miles an hour from Guaipe. Cano's right there, 1 hop, and Alonso is retired. First out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Guaipe is from Venezuela. 6'4", 235 pounds. Pitched in 21 games last year for Seattle.
Well, he can follow Felix Hernandez, since Felix from Valencia, that's Venezuela.
Right. Guaipe's from Barcelona, Venezuela. You ever been there?
Barcelona?
Where did you play?
Oh, Valencia. Barcelona?
No.
Not Barquisimeto?
No.
Never heard of Barcelona.
No, I'm just reading it right out of the media guide. I'm not even going to make
Barquisimeto. Luis Aparicio is from that. That's on the extreme western part of the country. Caracas on the east. Valencia right in the middle. A lot of iguanas.
Ooh. Creepy.
Oh, they eat a lot of bugs, man.
Do they?
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so they have a purpose.
Sure, they're good.
Those things that we saw in Miami when we were down.
Yeah, those they go.
They just but you walk by and they're looking at you, but they're bigger than your torso.
Yeah, but the thing about you sit in the pool, you know, and enjoy it, and all of a sudden this iguana is up in the tree and falls asleep and it falls out flat.
They get tired too.
Yeah, or they go in the pool and, you know, people start chasing them in the pools.
So they're somewhat harmless, is what you're
Actually, I was playing first base in Venezuela, and I looked up in the stands and they were throwing iguana back and forth. And my wife just left. She said, enough of the iguanas.
Carol said, that's good.
That's
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I was playing first. I looked and said, there they go.
Yeah, see, there's the iguanas.
Yeah. Appropriate.
3-2 pitch, nasty.
That's not fair.
That is not fair.
Come on. I mean, you got a 7-run lead. You're dropping a 3-2 slider. Follow Athletics Baseball live with the MLB.com at app. Stay up to the moment, any moment, with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. 3-2 slider. Wow.
So now Burns will hit. Burns led off the 6th with a base hit. He stole second and then scored. First pitch is a strike. So Burns overall 256. Cano cannot quite get it. Scoots under his glove. Second hit for Billy Burns. 5th hit for the A's.
Well, even if Cano comes up with this ball, I don't think he'd throw it out, although you can say Cano's pretty good at second. But usually when an infielder has to move right or left, it makes it difficult to throw out to Speedy Burns. And Robinson Cano just reached for it under his glove, probably thinking I'm not going to throw him out anyway. But Cano does have a quick flip as he shows at second base, turning double plays.
So that'll bring up Lowry here in the bottom of the 8th. Lowry's got a couple of hits. So 2 hits for Burns, 2 hits for Lowry. The A's only other hit was a single by Stephen Vogt. Up the middle, but Marte will grab it. He'll step on the bag side, retired. So hitting a runner left, and we're headed to the 9th. Mariners 8 and the A's 1. Fan know-it-all with Sportsnet Central. It's brought to you by Hyundai. It's tonight at 10:30, and it's on CSN Bay Area. A lot going on. Complete Warriors Blazers coverage. That game going on right next door. Sharks and Predators Game 3 highlights. Sharks lost tonight. And of course, the best highlights from all around Major League Baseball. Mindy Bach and Dave Feldman will host. And they're here at Oracle, I should say, right next door. Top of the 9th, 8-1, Mariners lead. Hendricks will face Smith, Cano, and Cruz. So Smith has not gotten into the hit attack yet. Some changes. Canna's in right. And Tyler Ladendorf is at second base. So Reddick will get a little bit of time off, as will Lowry. Smith fouls that one back, and it's 0-2. So 13 hits tonight for Seattle. They had 12 hits last night, so 25 total. But Seth Smith is 0 for 9. There's always that one guy.
Yeah.
And you just don't want it to be you. And Seth, it's you. All right, fastball, and he swung and missed. So Smith 0 for 5. One away here in the ninth.
But he went upstairs with a heater, and Seth Smith, who was called out on a fastball down and in. His third at bat, heads back to dugout, but at least he got some swinging.
Batting for Robinson Cano.
So Luis Sardinas is going to hit. It will not be Robinson Cano. He's done enough damage tonight. Sardinas, backup infielder. He's a switch hitter. So Cano, 2 hits tonight, 3 hits last night. He can enjoy the rest of this one. Strike, inside corner, 95 from Hendricks. Just got a piece of that one, did Luis Sardinas. Brewers last year came over in a trade. Started his career with the Texas Rangers. And that pitch almost hit him, but he was able to get a swing off. So a little extended work for Liam Hendricks.
It's like he might have also gotten Stephen Vogt. Or Fegley, I'm sorry. Fegley with a follow through. And that's the reason he was turning around to see if he's all right. Well, the follow through, this is why you wear a helmet to your catcher. Dang. Remember, he got hit last year in Houston, not wearing a helmet. Sustained a concussion, had to finish the rest of the season on the DL.
That's right.
All the more reason to wear a helmet when you're taking BP, because you just never know.
So 2-2 the count. Daeho Lee is in the on-deck circle, so Lee is going to hit, and it's Nelson Cruz's spot. Another bouncer foul. Sardinas is just battling those pitches that are inside and somehow getting the bat on it.
So it's great. You're sitting on the bench, grab a bat.
Yeah.
Cano's got the rest of the game.
Going up there swinging. Does it again. Another fastball, inner half, and he dribbles it foul. There's the gang. Starters sticking together. It's like a club. Like
3
if you wanted
starters
to
and
come
2
over there, you'd have to
DL
have
guys.
Get your fingers out of the way. Swing, gonna miss on a pitch in the dirt. Fegley will get the out at first. So 2 away here in the top of the ninth.
One of our favorites coming up. We have one of your favorite 70s classics on Grease Movie Fireworks Night, presented by Xfinity, Friday, May the 20th, which is game 2 of the A's 4-game series against the New York Yankees. After the game, fans can watch the fireworks show from the outfield grass. As always, on-field capacity is limited. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/fireworks and bring a lot of presents for my partner Glenn Kuiper's birthday on that day. Yeah, I'd bring a present for Kite. Joe, bring a present.
You know, just your friendship, you guys, is present enough.
But just in case, bring a present.
In case I change my mind. Just being able to work in this booth with all my good friends.
Dale. He can swing.
Daeho Lee, big,
he
strong.
does not get cheated.
Nelson Cruz, while he was in there, was 1 for 4. So Cruz and Cano have hurt the A's in the series. The young man on the right, Marte, has hurt the A's. So you're catching the Mariners right now, and they're a hot team. Coming in, they've won 6 out of 8. Pitch is hit high and foul, headed toward the second level. So the race is on. Small crowd tonight, 12,500. And not a lot of them have stuck around. fastball away. 2-2 the count. So Hendricks 31 pitches now. He's going to get 2 innings of work in. Another foul ball. Fastball. What a play. A leaping grab just below us by that young man. And that was a heck of a play. That may have been the best play of the night outside of Ketel Marte.
Wow. Yeah, Marte.
Watch out with the other guy.
Oh, the guy behind tried to back him up, and down goes Frazier.
Simeon charges, scoops it, throws across the diamond. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for Hendricks, and we're going to the bottom of the ninth. 8-1, Seattle. So too many Mariner highlights on that one.
Yes.
Yeah, they deserve it. 8-13-0 for Seattle. 1-5-0 for the A's. The Mariners are trying to win for the 7th time in their last 9 games. And they're going to send in a new pitcher. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. It's your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. It's the right-hander Steve Johnson. Will come in. Johnson just brought up from the minor leagues.
Good time to get him in the game.
So he'll face Canna. Canna's first at bat and pitches high. Chris Davis to follow and then Vogt. The A's only run came on Lowry's RBI single in the 6th inning.
And that was with the base hit, stolen base by Burns. So the A's at least get a hit with the runner in scoring position. They were 0 for 4 on Sunday, 0 for 4 last night with the runners in scoring position. But you got to get your runners on base to try to drive them in. That has not been the case for the A's so much tonight.
You got to have one to have the other, right?
Absolutely. And it's just not worked that well offensively for the Athletics. They're in a bit of a funk trying to get just hits and get runners on base, much less drive them in.
Seager has it on a broken bat grounder, and it's the first out here in the 9th inning. Let's go look at Steve Johnson, 28-year-old right-hander. Been in the big leagues a couple times with the Baltimore Orioles. So his 28th big league appearance. He's been around a long time. Started in professional baseball in 2005.
That's the old saying, make them tear the uniform off your back, and he's a perfect example of that. Just keep going, never know. Big league service time.
Chris Davis is 0 for 3. Deep to center. That's it a ton. Martinez back, and that baby's gone. Another home run for Chris Davis. It's his 6th of the year. What a towering shot.
That's halfway up the batter's eye.
I'm always curious with Chris Davis where the pitch was.
Yeah. How about fastball above the belt? And this is just him just going, oh, strong. And you talk about a follow through. That's all the way follow through. Almost, if he hit his back with his back, he might break the back. Look where it hit. Did it hit a sweep?
Pretty close. Wow. So 6th home run for Davis. And here's Butler. Butler hitting for Vogt. Nice play by Seager. Sidearms it across. Butler is retired. So 2 outs here in the 9th. Well, you always wonder, or not always, but now that we've seen Chris Davis for a month, anything middle of the plate and in, well, he's really dangerous because he opens up, he steps in the bucket a little bit, and you wonder why teams just don't keep the ball.
Well, they were for a while, and he was flailing a little bit, but you know, he's gotten closer to the plate. It's one thing Darren Bouchier's hitting coach said, which helps because it takes away some of the outside part of the plate.
This may do it. Seager into foul territory, and Seager grabs it. Yeah, that's the ball game. So the Mariners stay hot. They have now won 7 out of their last 9, and they have taken the first 2 games of this series over the Oakland A's. Iwakuma the winner, Gray the loser. It took 2 hours and 38 minutes. The attendance was 12,584. Final score tonight from the Coliseum: the Mariners 8 and the Athletics 2. You've been watching Oakland A's baseball on CSN California. It's part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's Post Game Live with Henry Wolford and Shooty Babbitt starts right now.
Sweet Nick Willis. Back on top, man.